So we want to discuss exactly today how disaster risk reduction and climate change adaptation go together and can possibly addressed in an integrated way through integrated planning, because the two topics are closely related but not the same.
ចាហើយសិក្ខាសាលាយើងក៏ជួយដល់ការចាប់យកសិក្ខាសាលាហ្នឹងធ្វើការពិភាក្សាតែយើងអាចបញ្ចូលបរិបទថ្មីថាថ្មីចាស់តទៅនឹងការកំណត់ហានិភ័យគ្រោះមហន្តរាយហ្នឹងទៅលើអ្វីដែលក្រសួងមានហើយគឺតទៅនឹងការបម្រើព្រោះអាកាសធាតុព្រោះបរិបទទាំងពីរហ្នឹងមានចំណុចរួមច្រើនវាអត់សូវខុសគ្នាអញ្ចឹងយើងអាចជួយដល់ការហ្នឹងពិភាក្សាមើលតែយើងអាចបញ្ចូលគ្នាដូចនេះ
As fundamental understanding, it's very important to emphasize at the beginning that when we talk disaster risk reduction and climate change adaptation in agriculture, we aim at adding an additional layer to our work on sustainable agriculture and rural development to make it more adverse, more resilient against disasters and of UNISDR.
ចាហើយនេះជានិយមន័យមួយចំនួនតទៅនឹងមុខសញ្ញាគ្រោះថ្នាក់ដែលកាត់ឡើងដោយធម្មជាតិហើយនិយមន័យឬក៏ការចាត់បញ្ចូលជាថ្នាក់នេះគឺត្រូវបានចាត់ដោយការិយាល័យមួយរបស់អង្គការសហជីវជាតិដែលទទួលបន្ទុកខាងការកាត់បន្ថយហានិភ័យគ្រោះមហន្តរាយឬក៏ហៅកាត់ថា UNISDR ហ្នឹងហើយបានន័យថានិយមន័យនេះទទួលយកដោយលក្ខណៈសកលគឺមានប្រទេស100
biological, geophysical, climatological, hydrological and meteorological.
ចាហើយមុខសញ្ញាគ្រោះថ្នាក់ដែលកើតឡើងដោយធម្មជាតិនេះគេចែកច្បាស់ណាគេចែកទៅជាច្រើនថ្នាក់ដូចជាកត្តាដែលកើតឡើងដោយកត្តាជីវសាស្ត្រ
climatological, extreme weather, extreme temperature, heat waves, also in some areas of the world, cold waves or frost, drought, wildfire, forest fire, flood surge, coastal surge, mass movement as hydrological and as meteorological hazards. The typology distinguishes storm and cyclone. By these hazards, this is a worldwide allocation of damage and loss done by the Munich insurance company, and it's very clear we see two things in there. It's a long-term trend increasing, and in some years the damage globally is more than $400 billion in 1 year. And that is the first translation.
ចាក៏ចង់បង្ហាញពីមួយនេះតទៅទៅនឹងការខូចខាតហើយនឹងការបាត់បង់ហ្នឹងហើយនឹងជាលក្ខណៈសកលមិនមែនទៅជាប្រទេសណាមួយហើយវាមានរយៈពេលមកតាំងពីឆ្នាំ1980រហូតដល់2012យើងអញ្ចឹងប្រហែលជា30ឆ្នាំជាងហើយបើយើងមើលtrend របស់វាខ្សែបន្ទាត់វាជាងការឆ្នាំខ្លះការខូចខាតការឡើងខ្លាំងហើយឆ្នាំខ្លះក៏ទៀតដែរ
The second very important thing in here is that the variability. In some years it's very strong, in others it's very low. So we don't know how this develops. There's uncertainty in it. And we have to be prepared at any time that one of these years may actually happen. Even if we had 2 or 3 years before which were with low impacts. And this is what disaster risk reduction is about, to anticipate the things we hope are not going to happen. However, only from natural hazards. But 70% of these losses currently are induced by climate-related disasters. So that says this overlap between climate planning and disaster risk reduction is very important. We just recently for the Sendai conference we did an FAO a big global developing country focused study on damage and loss from natural hazards.
có trong bà hai nhờ tin này muối cả toàn nâng ca khôi khăn nâng bạch băng đá nơi đồng bằng là gì hay chim xét mẹp tàu bị sai cả
captures the impacts of in the last 10 years, 2003 to 13, where data is available of the biggest disasters happening in Asia region. There were 28.
Tin này ní cứ miền dạ pe đập năm cứ pi point
Events. This is not including small events.
Chả hay từng on những sự tại có lan đời gồm hoàn trái thông thấu miền thành bảy gồm hoàn trái hay còn trong cặp hoàn thá cứ chỉ gồm hoàn trái thông ngay đồng bằng là gì nên ở rọc tụi gì.
And what we can see, the one data which is not presented here is that in a cross-sectoral analysis, it shows that more than 20% of the loss and damage goes to agriculture, forestry, and fishery. This is 1/5. This is huge. The second is if we add damage and loss. Loss is the damage is the immediate destruction. Loss is the income loss is following the destruction. If we add disasters which hit more than 250,000 people, the other one were even bigger disasters. Which you can see this included 34 disasters in Asia in the same period. And we were comparing statistically the impacts on production yields with the year of the disasters with the 3-year average prior and after the disasters. And we could find that the biggest impacted subsector in agriculture is cereals and pulses, and and you see the comparison.
Một kịp nghe rong bằng bòn năng giờ miền ai đi đầm lại tu tới ha bờ tây đi mà bờ tây năng cứ kịp nghe rong quặn chơi hay cứ đầm bòn môi chẹt lẹ kịp nghe rong năng.
So when we talk disaster risk reduction and climate change adaptation, it's the same for both. We have to look at the hazard, at the risk, and at this underlying vulnerability to understand the combination of both.
Chả có tha tiền ca cầm thôi hay khay gồm hoàn trái được cỡ đôi chỉ ca mình so mình ca pra của các sĩ đã được vô trong nội những đôi khi cứ dương thở mơ ta lơ sorry I forgot again the last part.
I have a question. Do we need the translation? Because it is very time intensive. What are some people who cannot follow me? But please. Very difficult for me. Now the concept we are talking about, disaster risk reduction. Sorry, there will be only 2 more definitions. Disaster risk reduction refers to programs, actions targeted to avoid, which means to prevent, to limit, which means to reduce or to mitigate, and to anticipate. This means to put preparedness in place, the adverse impacts of of hazards and extreme events.
Hay còn đang ao thì dùng này mua tiết cứ dùng này.
Some very simple examples of what prevention means. Just tie up this rock there, or for avalanches we very often see in Switzerland they're putting these belts in these wooden sticks that the snow is not going down. So that is avoidance. The dam can be another example against floods to avoid the risk to happen.
Hay còn lựa tiêu ho.
Concept and what we can do is to mitigate. Like this guy, they build a hut, hoping that when the storm comes, it's strong enough that the stone doesn't destroy the house.
Hay
to mitigate the impact.
Hay cả ta mua tiệt cứ ca cặn thọ.
It is happening, but the impact is mitigated. It does not turn into a disaster.
Chả có trong vậy tha một nhà.
Approach is to anticipate, be prepared. So this guy tells his wife, "You stand outside my hut all day and warn me in case this rock is falling, and then I can run away."
Hay trong khỏi cứ con này hay con ai buồn pôn con cho này chẳng ngày chẳng ai buồn pôn con này ngày tất cả ai mơ khơi đặt pe đắt mò này lẹ ai còn tha nó về để mò lẹ ai còn sài bạc đây con nó bật mò lẹ hay còn rột còn máy bay nên cái hai tha ca đo po miền rồi có chun nắng tục chỉ môn.
Just some examples from the agricultural sector's perspective on prevention, mitigation, and preparedness.
Hay còn lời ưu tiên ho mà chùm nón cả ton nâng ca triềm bằng ca cặp nâng thoi nâng ca pía ca cặp nâng thoi nâng ca triềm bằng ca này không bị sai cả sự cam.
Establishing information and early warning systems.
Tìm muối cư dân
Sensitive land use planning.
hayការផ្ដល់ព័ត៌មានឬក៏ការជូនទុកជំនុំគាត់ឧទាហរណ៍ដូចជាការរៀបចំឲ្យមានផែនការប្រើប្រាស់ដីសម្រាប់រដ្ឋាភិបាលនៅពេលដែលមានគ្រោះមហន្តរាយកើតឡើង
Local disaster prevention plans
ឬមួយក៏នៅ
strategies as concepts are very similar in climate change adaptation.
ហើយ
This time scale and with the objective to reduce extreme events or to address slow onsetting changes induced by climate change.
ហើយតកតងភាព
A business for climate change adaptation, but calls for the integration of climate change adaptation and disaster risk reduction.
ចំណុចទី3ដែលគាត់និយាយចំណុចនេះដែលគាត់និយាយខាងលើវិញភាគច្រើនតកតងនឹង climate change ដែលតកតងការប្រែប្រួលអាកាសធាតុដែរតទៅចំណុចចុងក្រោយនេះគឺជាចំណុចជាក់លាក់តែសម្រាប់ការងាររបស់ខាង DRR គឺការកាត់បន្ថយហានិភ័យគ្រោះមហន្តរាយប៉ុន្តែក៏គេបើកឱកាសនៅក្នុងការបញ្ចូលគ្នាជាមួយនឹងការបម្រែបម្រួលអាកាសធាតុដែរ
So this, for instance, is the issuing of hazard warning and alerts and making sure they reach the communities and the farmers. This is the actual warning. It's not the same as this one. This is establishing the system, which is a long-term task. To establish an early warning system for flood for a country, this is a process of and it needs maintenance and updating regularly. It's actually an ongoing process. Here in preparedness is to make sure this system is used and regular warnings are happening if a hazard is approaching and reaches those people at risk.
ហើយចំណុចមួយដែលគាត់ចង់និយាយនេះគឺតកតងទៅនឹងការ
safe places, which also means to have the safe places. This is also very important for disaster preparedness. ហើយចំណុចមួយទៀតគឺតកតងនឹងដូចនៅពេលដែលថាមានគ្រោះមហន្តរាយយើងអាចបញ្ជាជំនះ food, fodder, water, basic medical or veterinary packages. If a disaster has happened, if the flood has happened and the animals are put in a small island and the rest is flooded, this is also important for preparedness.
ហើយការត្រៀម
Have strategic fodder and or seed reserves. I think I'm sure Cambodia also has that at a more centralized level, but to maintain it, to be able in case of an emergency is happening, that you immediately can replenish some of the lost seeds. That is fundamentally important. ហើយតែគាត់រៀបរាប់នេះមកគឺតាក់ទងនឹងធ្វើម៉េចយើងអាចយុទ្ធសាស្ត្រដែលគេប្រើសម្រាប់ការពារមុនពេលដែលគ្រោះមហន្តរាយកើតឡើង So there's also this bit wider concept which we call disaster risk management. And the difference between disaster risk management and disaster risk reduction is that, as we said, disaster risk reduction includes prevention, mitigation and preparedness. The concept of disaster risk reduction also makes the link to response, recovery and rehabilitation. So this is the concept which links before, during and after disasters together in one holistic concept. ហើយក៏ចង់ឲ្យនិយមន័យមួយទៀតទៅនឹងការដូចគេសង្គ្រោះបន្ទាន់ឬក៏ស្ដារឡើងវិញអីជាដើម So very quick, this adds the dimension.
គ្រប់គ្រងគ្រោះមហន្តរាយចុងក្រោយគេមានយុទ្ធសាស្ត្រឆ្លើយតបតែគេបញ្ចូលហ្នឹងដើម្បីអីជួយសង្គ្រោះអាយុជីវិតមនុស្សជួយការពាររបស់របរហើយដូចចែកអំណោយបន្ទាន់អីជាដើមហើយនៅក្នុងហ្នឹងក៏គេគិតទៅលើការស្ដារឡើងវិញដែរនៅពេលចប់ឡើងខូចខាតផ្ទះសម្បែងឬ infrastructure អីតែយើងស្ដារឡើងវិញមិន
Disaster risk reduction and management linked to our ongoing development work in the agricultural sectors, including forestry, fisheries. ហើយមិញនេះគាត់និយាយនិយមន័យច្រើនហើយគាត់និយាយដាច់គ្នាតាក់ទងនឹង DRR ឬការកាត់បន្ថយហានិភ័យ Important message here is that disaster risk reduction and management is part of the development process. This is the development process which you also have outlined in many places in the climate change priority action plan, because you always says with an objective to increase agricultural production by or fisheries or forestry by 10% or by 5%. So this is the normal economic growth pattern. This is the underlying work which we want to protect from disasters having massive negative impacts. Be ready to initiate prevention, mitigation, preparedness, response and rehabilitation work at any time of the year when a hazard may happen. So at a certain point, and we hope not very often, this major disaster is happening. A big flood or a big drought with very strong impacts. This even if we have some preparedness, that it has impacts here. And hazard impacts without disaster risk initiative is what we know by now from global experience. The impact is very strong, and the recovery, trying to go back to the normal development pattern, can be years. It can take very long. Strong impact causes huge costs for farmers, but also for the government. Over the last 15 or 20 years is that we put more proactive disaster risk reduction work in place on all of these aspects. The impact will not be so strong. We can really mitigate the impact, and we have learned that the recovery back to normal development is much quicker.
ហើយបើសិនជាយើងមានផែនការតាក់ទងនឹងឥឡូវគេដូរពីactive
is that studies conducted by the EU and also by the World Bank on what do in terms of costing. We can say that if we put disaster risk reduction in place, this cost difference here is that between no DRR or DRR, 4 to 10 times cheaper when we put good disaster risk reduction in place as compared to the government and the international community need to assist after a hazard has struck.
ហើយតាមការសិក្សាស្រាវជ្រាវរបស់សហគមន៍អឺរ៉ុបគេឃើញថាបើសិនជាយើងមានផែនការតាក់ទងការកាត់បន្ថយហានិភ័យគ្រោះមហន្តរាយហ្នឹងនិងយើងអត់មានផែនការកម្រិតបាត់បង់ខូចខាតខុសគ្នាខ្លាំងពី4ទៅ10ដង
Process of what we say previous, during or after a disaster, which we have to understand as a cycle. So when we are here, we actually start again here. The next year, if you look at countries like the Philippines, we know exactly the next year may bring another storm. So this is a cycle. But in that, there are still periods like there's the typhoon season, which is more exposed to the disaster. So there is a phase always from say February to June, where we can say this is before the disaster season. In that season, particularly, one can promote multi-hazard risk and vulnerability assessments to be done. This is a task of disaster risk reduction, preparedness planning and monitoring, multi-hazard early warning, setting them up, strengthening them, preparedness for response, put the fodder feedstocks and the storage facilities, which we saw the examples before, put them in place.